Hey now.
Hey now, Ryan fucking up already.
Nah, I'm not fucking it up. We're
No,
live, pal.
everything's good.
Everything's great.
All
Steve
good.
Bennett, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Nothing. Now, you are not known to be a modern wrestling fan, but I had a fun exercise I figured we could go through to kind of preview this match that is very vague here right now for SummerSlam, and that is the Slim Jim Battle Royal. I can tell you two names that are going to be it. Is LA Knight, ever heard of him?
No, sounds like a Arena Football League team, the LA Knights.
Or an NHL team, but that was his theme song. What'd you think of the theme song? Does it pass the sniff test?
That's all right, yeah.
And the second being Sheamus. So those are the two names that were heavily hinted here. And other than that, I don't know how many competitors. I don't know what brands, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I don't know nothing. I figured I would bring in a know nothing to continue this preview.
Works out perfect.
By the way, Vanderpump, great show. You ever heard of it?
I've heard of it, but only recently. Like all of a sudden, it came on my radar. Everyone's making it like it's a big deal that it was on, but I'd never heard of it before that.
All right, I'm 9 episodes. I'm 9 seasons deep. That's for another day. But anyways, Steve Bennett, I am bringing you in to give me a 3x5 style preview here. And the first being, I want your top 5 SummerSlam matches outside of the box, like this multi-man, unique, 4+ kind of guys. You know, we're filling the card, putting everyone on the card, making everyone happy, getting everyone a SummerSlam payday type of matches.
Right.
And now for you, wrestling died in 1998, correct?
Good. Well, I mean, I watched the Attitude Era and I popped back in like in 05 when Hogan and SummerSlam 05 was Hogan versus Bret Michaels, right? Or Bret Michaels. Yes, the guy from Poison and Hulk Hogan had a match.
Yeah.
SummerSlam 85 was called Look What the Cat Dragged In. No, Shawn Michaels and Hulk. I watched that. 06, I think he wrestled Orton. I watched that. When the network came back, it was right around WrestleMania 30. I watched WrestleMania 30, and I kind of watched solid for about a year until I was like, why am I doing this? I hate it. So that's basically what I've done since 98. I did like the Attitude Era, though, but I liked it more before Bret left for WCW than after.
Got you. All right, so you got the flavor here. We know you're from 3x5. If you haven't heard it, we're gonna plug it at the end, but I'm sure you've heard it by now. So, Steve, are you ready to give me your top 5 matches? Are they in order or are they
No, I mean, Ryan kind of threw this at me. I thought I was just talking out loud, and the next thing I knew was official list. But I was looking for matches that were more like a lot of people are in them, as opposed to like I might have put the Boiler Room match on here, except for that's 1-on-1. So it is a gimmick match. It's something different they did at SummerSlam, but not enough people maybe to make the list. So I tried to do like 3-on-3s, or there's a multi-tag match in here. There's a main event from one of the shows that's a handicap match. So kind of quirky stuff like this. And we'll just name 5 of them, no order. And there's more that could be added. I'd love to hear them in the comments too, especially from say 88 to 2000 SummerSlams. But show me what you got first. Boom. This one I love. This is SummerSlam 89. Had 2 6-man tags. This is the first of the 2. The Rockers and Tito Santana, which is a great. It would have been a great if one of the territories had 3-man tag titles. They would have been great for that. These 3 guys would have been a great 3-man tag team. And then they fought the Rougeaus and Martel there. Now, Martel had recently called Tito a loser at WrestleMania and walked off on him, as they were once the Strike Force. And shortly after this, Michaels would decide that Jannetty's a loser and throw him through the glass window at the barbershop.
2 years later, yep.
Yeah, these 2 guys I don't think ever broke up. They just, because they're brothers, so I think they still love each other. But yeah, this is a really good 6-man tag match. It's a lot of guys in here who can work, right? So if you like to see some really good technical wrestling at a good pace for the era too, it's not a big guy kind of a slog match that some of these sometimes this era can be criticized for. These are guys that can go and they go at a quick pace, and it's a really well placed match. Hot crowd at the Meadowlands in '89, and I really like this match. That's a good one to check out if you're looking for one from back in the day.
All right, so later on in that show, we brought Another 6-man match.
Yeah.
We're getting paydays at SummerSlam 89 here.
Yeah,
this Demolition and Hacksaw.
Yeah, this is a good example of that, right? It's
Mhm.
Demolition. They throw Hacksaw on. Hacksaw does the face paint like Demolition. It's kind of behind Ryan's head, though. And then they wrestled, who was it? The Twin Towers.
And Andre.
And Andre wasn't Andre at this point. I don't remember how much he wrestled in this match, but
yeah,
not much, right? It's more about him just being there, being on the card, getting to see him walk down, you know, being able to boo him. Demolition super over here. Like I said, this is at 89. They're going to be the champs, in 90 again at WrestleMania 6. But no, this is really good stuff. They had just lost the belts to Brainbusters, who were in town for a year, and they didn't even put the belts on the line at 89, those crooks, because they said they didn't have the titles when the match was made. But yeah, another example, I think. Let's get these 6 guys out there. Let's get Andre in the building. You know, how can we protect him? Oh, we can have the Twin Towers work for him. I was watching a interview with Hulk the other day, and he was being interviewed by these guys who didn't know wrestling at all, and he was trying to explain John Tenta to them, and he worked himself. He's like, yeah, John Tenta, he's Earthquake. He was in this tag team called the Twin Towers.
Oh God!
And I'm like, wait, what, Hulk? What?
Oh,
so, yeah, good match though. Not as good as the other one. This is the first one is the better of the two 89 6-mans.
So the next one, we got 2 from the 91 card now.
And this is fun. This is amazing right here.
This is fun.
This is one of the top 5 opening matches at SummerSlam ever. I'll put them up with anything you got going forward. Right. In terms of star power, crowd reaction, excitement, you have an all Intercontinental Championship team here. Kerry Von Erich, he won it at SummerSlam 90. Steamboat won it at WrestleMania 3 and SummerSlam 92 for Bulldog. And then they wrestle against Power and Glory. And who's their teammate?
The Warlord.
So you got the beef over on that side of the page there. SummerSlam 91, Madison Square Garden. And you have a hot Garden crowd who are going to watch this match and then are going to get treated to one of the best matches of all time. So this is the match before the match, sort of, as you get Brett and Perfect after this. But Hollywood Dave, our buddy, was there that night and said that the crowd was so hyped for anything, and they love that match. It's a great one.
All right, the 4th one on the list here is the main event of that show.
Yeah.
The co-main event, the last match.
Yeah, this is more on there for its uniqueness.
Yeah.
A handicap match in the main event. And you got some interesting characters here, right? Obviously, you have Hulk. You have Warrior, who allegedly held up Vince before the match. That's wrestling folklore, that he wouldn't go out unless he wanted more money. So Vince agreed and then fired him like right after. Sergeant Slaughter in his bad guy days. Sheiky Baby wrestling as Adnan. And then the other guy, I forget what they called him. Something similar.
Mustafa,
that's right. There you go.
Colonel Mustafa.
Yeah, is it would I put it up there with the best main events of all time?
No. It's all right, though. Solid 2.5.
But it's a solid, 2.75 to be generous type of match. 2.5 is fine too, whatever. It wasn't, the match made in heaven then was obviously ended the show after for as well. Now this we threw in as something a little bit later. I was always a tag team wrestling guy, and they're trying here. This is something I would have loved to see on a card, like say SummerSlam 88. Maybe you get the top 4 tag teams from that card together for a big title match. But here we have Smoking Guns, who are with Sonny, who's in just top form, piece of ass mode at this card. The New Rockers, which was maybe a mistake, but they needed to do something with Marty, who's by now his wounds had healed from the glass at the barbershop. The Godwins with Hillbilly Jim. And this is another guy who came up on a sports media podcast the other day. I was listening to it, and they were arguing about him being useless and why he's in the Hall of Fame, and isn't that family the worst family gimmick of all time? With Uncle Elmer and all the maybe not great, admittedly. But Hillbilly is a guy who he's like Bo Jackson. You know, at his peak, he broke his leg and was never the same after.
He's memorable. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's memorable. Beyond that, whatever. He's a manager here. He's also one of the all-time good guys in the business. If you ever got a chance to watch the reality show they did when the network came out, you could see what a
Legends
great guy is. Legends House. And then the Body Donnas are the fourth team. This is whatever. Again, not anything I'm going to brag about being one of the best ever of anything. But similar to what they're doing here. They got 8 guys on the card and got a payday for WrestleMania and did something unique. Or for SummerSlam and did something unique.
Yeah, so that was the vibe I wanted to bring here. Mix a little 3x5, mix a little old school, mix just kind of bring it all together here. Now, let me just kind of present you with 10 guys that I feel won't. Some of them will, half of them will, and the other half were like, this would be a cool SummerSlam moment. All right. So let's jump into that. This is Grayson Waller. Ever heard of him? An Australian wrestler.
I have. His brother is Darren Waller, NFL player, used to be with the Raiders.
Just signed with the Giants.
Yeah, with the Giants now. So he's the other brother in the Waller family. I think he's got great potential.
Yeah, he's got a good potential. He's got a lot of charisma. Talks good on his feet. Talks well. He's got a lot of star power. He has a chance. Let's put it that way. He has a chance. All right. He is also on a TV or he's like kind of like the modern Miz, right? He has the Grayson Waller effect. You go in the ring, have a talk show, yada yada yada. The next here is Pete Dunne. He is an UK wrestler. He's been on the main roster for about 2 years now. He was in NXT since 2017 in the UK version and in the regular version. And they called him up and they said, Pete Dunne is not over. We're going to give him the name of Butch. So he is one of Sheamus's buddies. The only reason I add him here is maybe this would be a unique way to reintroduce him as Pete Dunne and give him a rub. But other than that, he's Sheamus's buddies Butch in a tag team called the Brawling Brutes. Ever heard of him?
No.
All right. Number 3, Chad Gable. All right. Chad Gable is a heralded wrestler, one of the best in-ring technicians of this generation. He's just great. He's like a mini Kurt Angle in there. He can go.
Is he a D1 wrestler as well?
He is. He was an Olympic wrestler.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's my size. He's 5'8".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and he has just keened in on this character of the last few years. They're giving him goofy catchphrases that he's getting over. He's organically ready for a singles push. Despite being a tag team wrestler, he's gone from one of those heel annoying wrestlers to an over babyface guy. And I think he has an upside. And my sleeper pick to dethrone Gunther. And if they wanted to do that, it could start here by giving him a unique battle royal win.
I like him. I'm on board with him.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. All right. This one is the reason why I think they're having this match. And this is LA Knight. D'Amato's favorite wrestler, one of my current favorite wrestlers right now. We're going to go over him a little later to close this. Big upside. The only thing hindering him is like 40, 41 years old. So I don't know if they really want to superly invest into him.
He reminds me of that one guy that was he got famous on YouTube. So then they
Zack Ryder? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he reminds me of that guy.
Yeah, he's got a great look. I'll show you some of his stuff next. All right. And the other one here is Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle is a star. He had a really, really popular tag team with Randy Orton the last 2 years. Won the tag team titles on SummerSlam 2 years ago. And then he was Randy Orton's tag team all the way up till last SummerSlam, a few weeks before that, where Randy went away with his hurt back. The only reason I say him is perhaps we get a Randy return and perhaps we get a new direction with Matt here. And Matt is, he seems like he's in a holding pattern. He is a guy that they rely on heavily on week-to-week TV to go out there and have 10, 15, 20-minute matches. And he delivers. He's just like Chad. He's one of the most excellent wrestlers in the company. He's a really good TV wrestler. A little controversial outside of the ring kind of vibes, but he's my guy. I think the world of him. All right, and the last modern guy here is Sheamus. He's announced for it. Perhaps this is a way to elevate LA Knight by having Sheamus eliminate him last and perhaps turn heel to give LA Knight the shine at the end in a month or so. So Sheamus is a steady hand. He's a little long in the tooth, but it could be more if he want to. I could see them going with him anyway. All right,
Seems
and
like
I have
he's a
four.
good soldier. I mean, he's been there a long time. You know, he's been up, he's been down. I respect him. I wouldn't really want to see him win, though. You know.
Yeah, agree. I think he's in the final three, and maybe LA Knight eliminates him last. All right, and these four are they could happen, but they're not. They're not likely to happen. I just think they're fun legacy spots that
Long shots.
well that I could see happening. And the first one being the returning Carlito.
Okay.
It's been rumored that Carlito is back in the WWE sooner rather than later. It wouldn't be a bad time to reintroduce him here at the Royal Rumble, or at the Battle Royal, give him a boost and have him come out and return. He returned in Puerto Rico at Backlash in a run-in, and he had a thunderous reaction. And he's kind of having underground buzz of kind of getting him back in the mix. So, you know, a legacy star of lesser years, like 2005, 6, and 7, but still, you know, a big star that they could return, that they insert in the mid card and just have a solid run.
Wrestling fans love returns.
Absolutely. And the next one is boom, the legend killer, Randy Orton. One of your all-time favorites here, Steve.
Hey, this is a wrestler right here. This is
a wrestler here. I could see him returning and maybe having an issue with his former tag team partner I talked about, Matt Riddle. I could have him coming back and saving his former partner, Matt Riddle. And I could just see this being a nice, safe, fun way to return him and have a big, big legacy pop.
I like it.
Yep. You think you're going to like this next one, too. Boom. SAG is on strike. John Cena has nothing going on.
Mm-hmm.
He returned at Money in the Bank to kind of start, I don't want to say start a feud, but have a little interaction with the first guy we mentioned here, Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller is kind of in the mode of talking his talk right now to legacy stars. If it's not John Cena, he had a match with Edge. He's talked his shit. He just had a main event match with Jey Uso, who was in the main event here. So he's going on to a Twitter spat with someone else I might mention next here. But I just see that Cena was here last month. They're on strike. He might not be doing anything. He might want to, you know, it's a good legacy pop. It could be a
problem with Cena, though, and the way they've used him in the last few years.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Cena, who's been at the highest of highs,
when
he comes back, he wants to do business and try to elevate someone.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense. But if every time you come back and talk all this shit about what you're going to do in the ring, and then you lose every single time, the push that you're giving that guy is less and less every time.
Yep.
Because everybody's onto it. Everybody knows, Cena's back to lay down in the middle of the ring for so-and-so now. Oh, he's going to lay down for this guy.
Yep.
It's not good. You can't do that every time. Every once in a while, you got to beat somebody, even if they get you back later.
Yeah. And I think that maybe perhaps they would have that vibe here.
When was the last time John Cena won a match?
What was the last time he had a match?
Won a match, like at a pay-per-view.
SmackDown. In the last SmackDown of the year, he won a tag match with
that's not what I mean.
I
mean a big match at the end of a feud that everyone put a lot of work and time and money in.
Yep.
And had a video package. If they would have ever done this with Hulk, I would have lost my mind. I mean, you can't do you.
Well, that doesn't work for Hulk, brother.
It shouldn't work for John either, because
I know he's more giving though. It's kind of on him, honestly.
Hulk is actually has been very giving. I could go through the proof with you, but Cena maybe even more giving, and that's great. But what you're giving is less and less each time you get beat. It doesn't.
I understand the sentiment. You know, look, he had a very house show inspiring match with Austin Theory at this year's WrestleMania to open the card. It was in a great spot. The crowd was hot. They went out there and killed the crowd. And I don't know how to put that on. I don't know if Cena showed up and was uninspired. I don't know if Cena showed up and didn't prepare.
And he
they just went out there and had a very lackluster 2.25-star match. And that shouldn't be for an opener of a WrestleMania.
It's hard to get more when everybody knows the outcome.
I hear you, buddy. All right, but the last guy here is The Rock.
Yeah, okay. I think you're reaching for the stars there.
I'm reaching for the stars on this one. The only reason I mention it is his family's melting down in the main event, right? And he's out here talking his shit on Twitter, again, to our boy Grayson Waller, looking to get the Grayson Waller rub. So could have one of these feel-good moments where The Rock returns, has a quick SummerSlam match, throws a few people over the top, and then, I don't know, it just kind of something to add to the mix. He's in the building for the main event where it's the the elders have made the rules of tribal combat, which is the main event between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, for the head of the table that The Rock once led. So put him in the building. He's in the battle royal. I'm reaching for the stars here. Here's the thing. If he's in SummerSlam, he's in the main event. But the reason I bring him up here is for the Grayson Waller rub.
He should be the one to either take the belt from Roman or cost Roman the belt.
Perhaps. I'm not against that. So, Steve, the guy I want to sell you on here is L.A. Knight. I just want to show you 2 quick videos, and I want you to let me know if you feel that this guy is a star. All right, Steve, this is at Money in the Bank, his last pay-per-view in the O2 Arena in London. And let me know what you think about this pop. Does this feel like a star to you?
Making his way to the ring from Los Angeles, California, weighing 230 pounds, L.A. Knight.
All right, Steve. So you hear him screaming for LA Knight, clamoring for LA Knight.
Pretty good. He's over.
All right, now let me give you a promo of his. All right.
Okay.
This is before the Money in the Bank. You know, they have their obligatory fucking one guy after another comes out for the match. Stupid segments that they do on Raw. But here we go.
Money.
Yeah! Listen to this place!
Look at.
Oh.
Let me talk to you. I look in this ring and I see Ricochet, I see Nakamura, and I see 2 guys who are as useless as basketball cleats. Then I look and I see a guy, he makes videos for 14-year-old girls and wants to call himself a megastar. No. There can be only one, but I'll tell you what, Logan Paul, I brought you a little gift. It's a map. If you follow this, you'll find the exact directions of where you can stick each and every one of those bottles of Prime. Yeah! Because that case has my name on it, with everybody saying. Yeah!
All right, Steve, that's LA Knight. What are your quick observations of LA Knight?
First off, he's right. That Prime shit is horrible. Disgusting. One of the worst drinks I've ever had in my life. Gatorade's way better. Second of all, he's got to be careful because he comes off a little bit as a Rock clone.
That's kind of the vibe and the knock that he gets.
Yeah. It definitely, he's sort of straddling that line between, is he copying it a little bit too much? But look, nothing's unique in the wrestling business. You know what I mean? Everything is borrowed from something. So there's nothing wrong with that. You don't want to fall into a territory where you can be put as like a lesser than version, like, oh, he's basically just not as good as The Rock and, the white version of The Rock or whatever people might say about him. But hey, that's all I've seen. That literally, I'm not joking. That's the first I've ever heard of him or seen him, and it seemed cool. So yeah, I'm in. I want to see more of him.
Okay, interesting. Just wanted to get your vibe on it. As we can tell,
I'd like to see more. He seems interesting to me. He looks cool. He's got a cool look. He's got some good swagger. He can certainly work the mic. He's just got to be careful. Like I said, you don't want to. I don't know that you necessarily
towing the line. He's towing
the line.
You can steal a little bit. You just can't steal the playbook. You could have a few plays, but the playbook can't be. The Oakland Raiders can't run the Buffalo Bills playbook. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, you got to be careful there.
Yeah, be careful. All right, Steve. So that's it. Is LA Knight winning this match?
If those are my options, I would say he's the most likely to win.
All right, cool.
Of what's been presented to me, he seems like the winner. Cool. And you said he's actually announced for it too, right?
Yes. Yeah,
I mean, why would they, it seems like this is made for him in a way.
Yeah. So, we'll see how it is. All the rumors are rumors, but his push is starting after SummerSlam. So, this might be a good way to propel that.
Yeah. Works for me.
All right, Bennett. We'll catch you on the next 3x5. We're going to throw it right here in the links, buddy.
Every Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
Awesome. Steve, thank you, buddy. Was it fun talking current wrestling?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.